Kopras works with the Center for Environmental Genetics, or CEG, and its Community Outreach and Engagement Corps, or COEC, funded by the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, or NIEHS. Their mission is to increase awareness of how the environment can impact health. And this here is Kettering Laboratory, where our journey begins.
A lot of people don't think about how the environment impacts health. And NIEHS wants investigators to incorporate the environment into their research. So they've created these centers where we get money every year to encourage people to look at the way the environment is involved in the disease process. Most grants, you have a hypothesis. I think that this disease is caused by this. And you say, I'm going to test this hypothesis. And NIH gives you money to test your hypothesis. The center grants are a little bit different. A lot of people don't think about how the environment impacts health.
The CEG is comprised of 5 different core facilities. Each core facility backs a different topic, whether it be an administrative core led by Kopras herself, a technology core, a career development core, or a health sciences core. None is more unique than the community outreach and engagement core.
We also have the Community Outreach and Engagement Corps, or COEC. The COECs are fairly unique. If you are interested in looking at autism, okay, you can put up an ad and say, does your kid have autism? We want to help you. And you will have parents lined up out the door because they want to know why their kid has autism. They want to help their kids with autism. They are very engaged in doing the research. If you want to look at environmental causes of breast cancer, you will have breast cancer patients, breast cancer patient advocates, sisters and brothers of breast cancer survivors. They will all come out and they will want to understand more about breast cancer. They have a vested interest when it's their disease. But if I say living close to a highway with a lot of pollution might impact your health, and I want you to participate in my study, there's not as much engagement. Now, if I put up a sign that says, if you live close to a highway, call me, people are like, why should I call? So when you want to do research on the environmental impacts on health, you really need to engage the community. And that's one of the things that our COEC tries to do.
According to Kopras, a real reason for this engagement is in response to the environment's responsibility for disease and the lack of insight and knowledge from our doctors during treatment.
It's estimated that the environment is responsible for the majority of disease, especially if you look at the types of diseases that we deal with now: cancer, heart disease. A lot of heart disease is currently attributed to the pollutions, to the diesel particulate matter that you live with. So you're going to have a higher rate of heart disease if you live within a certain meters of a highway compared to living away from a highway.
The University of Cincinnati's COEC, working alongside Case Western University and the Ohio State University, have developed a web resource called netwellness.org, one of the most cited web sources on the internet. According to Kopras, NetWellness provides environmental information on diseases that can and will educate.
Doctors don't ask you about your environment, usually. Usually if you go to the doctor, and I think we use the sinus example. If I go to the doctor and look, I've got a sinus infection, and the doctor says, yeah, you got a sinus infection, here's your guafenicin, here's your antibiotic, go away. Okay, the doctor doesn't ask, what have you done in the last 3 weeks? Have you sat around campfires? Oh, look, this is the 4th sinus infection you've had this year. Are you spending time in a barn with pigeon poop coming down? Maybe you're getting some funky infections that we need to know about. The doctors don't ask about the environment. We have a pediatric environmental health center unit here at Cincinnati Children's and UC, and Nick Newman said that the average pediatrician gets about 9 hours of environmental health in their training. Think of how many hundreds of hours these pediatricians get. 4 to 9 hours? They're not trained to look at this as a major component of health. So the education of us is the first step. What do these people, these communities want to know about gene-environment interaction and how this affects their health? So the second step is to engage them and go back and forth to understand what can we develop using all of this great expertise we have here. What can we come up with as a product that will help you?
For Jeremy Powers and all of us here at Riptide Rush News, I'm Jeff Stevens here at Kettering Laboratory, and this is where our journey ends. Goodbye.